I am a firm believer that when a person is making you feel jealous or envious, it is them shedding a light on an area of your life that you want to work on, but you have been avoiding it, or you don't really know how to work on it. And you see this person who is doing it gracefully, right? It appears gracefully, and that their act of being in their power is shedding a light on where you are not in your power. Greetings, everyone. Welcome. If it is your first time here at Hidden Alchemy, welcome. My name is Sade. Whether you are listening to me over on my YouTube channel or Spotify, I am so grateful to have you here for today's podcast episode. And if it is your first time, a little bit about me. I am a holistic and wellness coach focusing on mental, spiritual, and emotional modalities that can really help people tap into their personal power and live from their highest potential. I do astrology readings. I am currently a full spectrum doula. So excited about that new transition. I help the birthing space, prenatal, birthing, as well as postpartum, and really just helping all beings, but especially women, tap into their feminine, tap into their personal power, and really just live life on their terms from this space of freedom, expansion, and just joy and pleasure. So if you like any of the work that I do, or if you would like to learn more, go ahead and head over to my website, Hidden Alchemy by Sade, and you can find all of my information there and go ahead and schedule a consultation. For today, we are going to dive into the topic of navigating jealousy and envy in a healthy and productive way. And the reason why I really like this topic, and I say this about all the topics that I talk about, but I like this topic because we don't really get to talk about the normalcy of jealousy and envy. It's one of those things that we try to pretend that it doesn't exist, or we might feel a little bit of guilt and shame if we are the person who might be jealous or envious, or if we're experiencing that. And I'm a person that likes to dive into topics that are a little bit taboo, that are a lot taboo, that are very uncomfortable, because a lot of these things are a normalcy, a part of life. And if we just talk about it, then we can find healthy ways to navigate it and to actually use it for our own personal benefit. So, the topic of jealousy and envy, this is something that we all experience or have experienced happen to us in our day to day, or maybe not even our day to day, but in our life in general. And I usually like to say that there's many different forms of jealousy and envy. There's passive jealousy and envy, where you might just be feeling something that you want to work on and change within yourself because someone else has kind of shed that light through the way that they live their life. And then there's more active jealousy, when you are a person who purposely tries to infiltrate in what someone has going on for them because you cannot navigate the change that needs to happen within you. I am a firm believer that when a person is making you feel jealous or envious, it is them shedding a light on an area of your life that you want to work on, but you have been avoiding it, or you don't really know how to work on it. And you see this person who is doing it gracefully, right? It appears gracefully, and that their act of being in their power is shedding a light on where you are not in your power. And that's when we start to feel jealousy and envy. And jealousy and envy, I believe, is the fire element. And the fire element is what really helps to push us forward on our journey. It gives us action, it gives us speed, it gives us direction. Fire is a very powerful element when you use it with boundaries and in a very productive way. But when we allow ourselves to get jealous about something, and then we, instead of using that fire to take charge and action in our own life, we use that fire to do something to someone else outside of us. So there's many ways that you can work with the fire element, but when you don't use the fire to create alchemy and transformation, hence the name of my whole business. When you don't use the fire to create transformation and alchemy within yourself, that's when it can become extremely destructive, because you are now putting that fire on someone outside of yourself, simply because they are shedding light on something within yourself that you just need a little bit of direction and work on. And a really productive way to work with envy and jealousy, if you are the person that is feeling that towards someone, is acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you are jealous or envious of whatever you are jealous or envious of. Acknowledge it and accept it, right? Don't make yourself feel guilty about it. Don't shame yourself. Don't bad talk yourself. It is a normal feeling, because someone is shedding light on a weak spot within ourselves. And then take a moment. What about this person or this situation? Because it could just be a situation that's happening. What about this person or situation is making you feel jealous, is making you feel envious? Why? Once you navigate your why, then you can start to take action in your own life to handle that area of your life where that person has shed light on for you. And a great way to handle jealousy and envy is the person who is doing what you are doing or has what you want, learn from them. And that takes a level of humbleness. Humbleness in realizing that you are not where you want to be in a certain place in your life, and this person is. And there's a lot that you can learn from them, right? But it takes a level of maturity and a level of humbling within yourself to know that. I used to be that person when I had low self esteem. And definitely go ahead and check out my podcast on ways to deal with imposter syndrome and low self-esteem. Because when you are a person who has low self-esteem, you're very insecure, you're dealing with imposter syndrome, that's when we really take that jealousy and envy and we put it on the other person. And I was definitely someone that was like that, especially in my younger 20s, when I really didn't know how to navigate my emotional space. And I would have this jealousy and envy towards people, and I would just be completely mean to them for no reason, but for the reason of just something that they were triggering within me that I could not deal with at that time. And as I've grown and matured and learned and, did the shadow work, you realize like, oh, that was just me being jealous and not knowing how to express that. And if I was a more mature, I would have been able to learn from that person and would have been 10 times farther. Right. So that's a way to navigate if you are a person feeling jealous or envious. It's normal. Allow yourself to feel that fire, allow yourself to feel that heat, and then discover your why, and then humble yourself. Learn from that person, or start to take action in your life. Ask that person, what are the steps that they took to get there where they are? You don't necessarily need to copy them for verbatim, but even if you do, you're not the same person. So you are going to have your own trajectory and the way that you go about things, and it's not going to look the same as them, even if you copy some of the steps. I believe that we're all here to inspire each other, and we're all here to guide each other. And sometimes that guidance doesn't feel good. Sometimes that guidance is someone's presence and their star energy is making you feel some type of way about where you are not shining in your life. But that person is actually an inspiration to you. And when you take the element of jealousy and envy and you take that fire and you allow it to transform yourself, that's when you're able to step into your personal power, because you're not powerful by controlling others or by having people control you. You're powerful based off of the way that you can control yourself, the way that you can transform yourself, heal yourself, and evolve and grow on your journey. Now, on the flip side, if you are a person who is experiencing other people being jealous of you, what really has helped me in navigating that is remembering where I was when I was that person, and understanding where that person is coming from. A lot of times we cannot see our light, and we cannot see the way that we shine, and we cannot help that either. That's not something that anyone should ever change about themselves, the way that they shine. But sometimes your light can be overbearing for other people. And when you start to notice that someone is jealous or envious of you, for me, how I handle that is I step away, I step back, because I understand. I understand what that person is feeling. I understand why that person is feeling that way. And I know that it's just deeper work for them to do on their journey. The mistake that I used to make was thinking that maybe if I'm nicer to them, maybe if I talk more to them, maybe if I crack more jokes and make them feel good about themselves. And that actually backfires, because again, your light is a constant reminder to them of where they are not. right? So the more that you put yourself around them, the more that you kind of overshadow them in a sense, it doesn't matter what you do. It is an internal wound and an internal thing that they have to work on. So what I have learned and what has helped me is whenever I start to notice that I am feeling that tense energy from a person where I'm like, okay, this person may not be welcoming of me or fond of me, and I have no reason why, I remove my energy and I give them the space that they need. I respect that boundary. Take it as a boundary. Like when a person is showing you that they are jealous or envious of you, take it as a boundary, right, for them, and respect that boundary and take back your energy, right? Maybe you don't need to really be around that person. Maybe you don't need to talk to that person as much. Take back your energy, because you doing more is actually making it worse, even though you might have good intentions. The thing with navigating jealousy and envy is it's something that has nothing to do with the person who is experiencing, the envy of someone else. It's a personal thing. And the best thing that you can do is just show love from a distance, right? Show love from a distance and be neutral so you're not too involved, and allow that person to grow. Because sometimes when we are too involved in a person's life, it hinders their growth, because our light can be overpowering and overshadowing to them. And sometimes the best thing that you can do for a person to grow on their journey is to remove yourself completely so that they can see themselves. Because when you're in front of them, all they can see is your light. Right. So that's something that has really helped me to understand and navigate. Like, if a person is feeling envious, if a person is feeling jealous, or if I'm that person, is like, acknowledge it for what it is, use it to transform yourself, use it to help you evolve, and have compassion for people. Have compassion. Everyone is navigating their own internal hell. And a lot of times you don't know what that hell is. So the best thing that you can do is show love, have compassion, remove your energy, and focus back on yourself, and focus where you are in relation with people who are on the same frequency as you. Because people who are on the same frequency, yeah, there's going to be envy, but there's going to be accountability of like, I love what that person is doing. That person is so dope. That person is so inspiring. Let me figure out how to be on that level, right? Because y'all are on the same frequency. But when people are dealing with imposter syndrome and low self-esteem, and you might be the person who's not, y'all are not on the same frequency. So you have to remove yourself and attract the people who can deal with the light and are also light beings as you are, and y'all can then work together. Because I believe that we're all here to work together to build more. There's things we need to do as an individual, and there's things that we need to do as a group. And you got to find your group, you got to find your tribe. And navigating jealousy and envy, it's very dangerous if you are constantly putting yourself in environments and around people who are very jealous of you, because again, it's the fire element, so it can become very deadly, right? We have this term in Jamaica called red eye, and it's like when people have red eye, sometimes that fire is so blinding, they want to harm you, they want to hurt you, they want to take things from you. And that's the difference between active and passive jealousy for me. When you're active in your jealousy, you are trying to hinder someone else from what they have. When it's passive, it's just a feeling that you feel from what that person is showing, but you're not taking action against that person because of what you feel. So when navigating jealousy and envy, you got to be careful who you're around, because it can turn deadly, and you got to protect yourself in this world, as well as having compassion and love for other people. So that's my spiel on just productive ways of navigating such a normal sensation and a normal feeling that we have as humans of jealousy and envy, and using it to work in your benefit. That is alchemy. It's taking something that someone is throwing at you and using it for your benefit. Because if a person is jealous or envious of you, it's because you're doing something right. So keep doing what you're doing and keep excelling, and just keep just evolving and transforming on your journey. All right, everyone. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this episode. I would love, love, love to hear your thoughts, your views on this topic. If you've experienced this, how you navigate this when you are experiencing this within yourself, or if someone else is having that energy towards you. If you're listening over on Spotify, go ahead, feel free to send me a message. I would love to hear from you, and enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.